Hey, what's up guys, I'm Chris and we're Saga, and today we're bringing you our full series of What If Piccolo Was Never Born, our first ever series on this channel. So yeah, I hope y'all will enjoy this this full series. We'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching. So this What If will start back when Kid Goku just went through King Piccolo, and I would say that this kills him automatically, and he has no time to kill Piccolo Jr. This means that Kami will die and the Earth's Dragon Ball will no longer work. This also means that Krillin, Master Roshi, and Chaozu sadly stay dead. This saddens Goku and the others of their losses. This change turns two characters into something a bit different. Goku and Tien. They both lost their best friend and Goku lost his master. With them not being able to come back to life, it turns him into a more serious fighter and knows the stakes. Goku still goes to the lookout to be trained by Master Popo. But there is also Yamcha and Tien, and I would say that they train together until the next reunion. So the reunion is still kind of happy, but still sad that there's no Krillin, Roshi, or Chaozu. There's also a good side. No Piccolo Jr. reacting to his revenge on Goku. So for the fights, I would just say that Krillin, Piccolo, and Kami get replaced with less challenging fighters, and Chi-Chi still proposes to Goku. So the finals would be Yamcha and Goku. Sadly, Yamcha does not stand a chance against Goku, and Goku would take the W in the tournament. The time skip still happens, but there are some minor differences. First of all, I would think without the Dragon Balls and the Third of Death is more dangerous now. I will say that Chi-Chi allows Goku to train their son Gohan, and instead of meeting him in Kame House, they would meet up at Bulma's place. Raditz still lands on Earth and would head to the strongest power level, which would be Goku. Since Piccolo is not in this universe, then he won't stop at the wrong person. For the power levels, I would say Goku gets a bit stronger, saying his power level is at 355 instead of 334, and Gohan to be at 35 instead of 1. Now this isn't a big increase, but an increase. Now the humans are actually a bit stronger than their counterparts, since Tien and Yamcha had each other train each other, even though they didn't train under Master Roshi. Their power levels, I would say Tien goes to 300 and Yamcha would be at 230. When Raditz arrives at the Capsule Corp, the same thing happens to the canon part. Raditz takes Gohan, but this time Goku goes alone to face off his brother. And this doesn't go so good for the Z Fighters. So Goku starts fighting Raditz, but as you can expect, Raditz is destroying Goku. And with this, Gohan gets his first rage boost and hits Raditz as per normal. But before Goku can attack Raditz, he finishes him off and now Goku is dead. Raditz then decides to take Gohan because he sees that he can be of use to them, and they leave Earth. After Raditz left with Gohan, Bulma, Yamcha, and Tien head to where they last sensed Goku's power level, but Bulma realizes that the crater made by Raditz's ship is now gone. And if they can't find Gohan, they expect the worst. After a week or so, Raditz meets up with Vegeta and Nappa and tells them on what happened. With this knowledge, Vegeta ends up killing Raditz for almost being beaten by a little kid. Then Vegeta decides that he will take Gohan under his wing and train him so that he can help with Vegeta's plan on overthrowing Frieza. While on Earth, Bulma, Tien, and Yamcha try to think on what to do since the strongest fighter is now dead. Bulma did head to Goku's house to talk to Chi-Chi and tell her what happened, and Chi-Chi does not like this one bit. Afterward, Bulma is outside her balcony, then a figure on a flying carpet shows up in front of her. Mr. Popo explains that they can go to planet Namek to wish back everyone. So then Bulma told Tien and Yamcha that there was a way to bring back everyone who had died. So they get prepared for a trip with Bulma's building the spaceship and Tien and Yamcha training together.
So with Bulma, Yamcha, and Tien heading to planet Namek, another difference is that Frieza does not know about the Dragon Balls, so they will be okay when looking for them. Tien and Yamcha's power level when taking off are Yamcha being at 230 and Tien being at 300, since they didn't have to train for the Saiyan arrival since Vegeta and Nappa have no reason to go to Earth. It will take them a month and they have to train together for a while already, so I'ma say that Yamcha gets to 450 and Tien at 630. During this month on another planet, Vegeta, Nappa and Gohan are training together fiercely and taking full advantages of their Zenkais. Vegeta is pushing Gohan hard so they can get strong fast. Gohan, being half Saiyan, he is growing quickly and is almost as strong as Nappa. So in the beginning of the training, Gohan's power level is 50 since he got a little Zenkai after the rage boost from fighting Raditz. Vegeta and Nappa are the same, Vegeta's power level being 18,000 and Nappa's power level being 5,000. After the harsh month of training, Gohan's power level is at 8,000, Nappa at 9,000, and Vegeta standing at a whopping 24,000. Also, Gohan can control his ape form. Of course, they need more training, so they continue without stopping. While the remaining Z fighters, after 2 days, they collect the Dragon Balls and even get their potential awakened by Guru, which is like 8 times multiplier, so it will give Tien a power level of 5,040 and Yamcha at 3,600. After they get the Dragon Balls, they wish for Master Roshi, Krillin, and Chaozu alive, since they wouldn't be able to revive them with the Earth's Dragon Balls. The Namekians were kind towards them, and asked if they needed a new guardian, and they gave the Earthlings Dende. So afterwards, they start to head back, which will take another month. So back to Vegeta and the others, their power level goes up by 2.5. So Gohan at 20,000, Nappa at 22,500, and Vegeta at 84,000. Being a 3.5 multiplier, but this month doesn't go without a fight. During the end of the month, Frieza starts to get suspicious and sends the Ginyu Force to Vegeta's last location. They arrive relatively quickly, and Vegeta and the others get prepared to fight. Gohan will be able to kill Goldo, and Vegeta will erase Recoome easily. All three of them will take on Jason Birder and be able to handle them but still get hurt. After being a bit beat up, they will go after Ginyu, but it wouldn't go so good. But when Gohan sees Vegeta get beaten up bad, he will get angry and get a rage boost. Since he spent 2 months with Vegeta, he ended up looking up to him and his power level skyrocketed to 60,000, and heavily damaged Ginyu due to him being shocked. This leaves Vegeta and Nappa incredibly shocked as well. Then Ginyu will try to change bodies with Gohan the same way he did to Goku in the original show. But Nappa will get in the way, and Vegeta, seeing his chance to kill both Nappa and Ginyu without hesitation, Gohan passed out using too much power, and Vegeta felt a little pride to see how his pupil grew. Back on Earth, Tien, Yamcha, and Volma prepared to use the Dragon Balls.
The Earthlings wish for Goku back to life, and if you think he's at the same power level as where he died off, you are sorely mistaken. He was at King Kai's place for the whole time during the 2 months, and also Krillin, Master Roshi, and Chaozu were there too. Krillin, Master Roshi, and Chaozu, their power levels are no laughing matter. They've been at King Kai's for a good while, and Krillin's power level is at 50,000, and he can use up to Kaioken times 2 with ease, but he can do more, but with his body, he can't really handle much of Kaioken. Master Roshi's power level is at 40,000, and Chaozu's is at 30,000. So when wishing back Goku's, his power level is at 7,000. He does not know the Kaioken well, but he knows the Spirit Bomb. For their second wish, they wish back Gohan to Earth, and they see the big difference on how he looks and how his strength has grown. Vegeta notices that Gohan just vanished and decided that the first place he would look would be on Earth. So he would go heal up and head back to Earth. Gohan would warn the others that someone twice his power level would be coming soon, so that they need to start training and get stronger. So Gohan would get stronger with the others, and they would train hard, with the top 3 strongest warriors being Gohan, Krillin, and Master Roshi. All of the Z fighters will train hard for the whole week before Vegeta arrives. After Vegeta arrives, the power levels will include that Gohan is at power level at 60,000. He did not get a big increase of power. Krillin will be at a power level of 55,000, and Goku will get the biggest power jump to being the power level of 50,000. And he is able to use Kaioken times 3, but his body couldn't handle it for so long. Master Roshi at 45,000, Tien at 20,000, and Yamcha at 18,000. So Vegeta would get prepared to fight, but Gohan would be the only one to fight against him. He would want to try to reason with Vegeta to make him stop fighting against Earth. Vegeta holds back on him so he doesn't kill Gohan, but then Gohan decides to go Kaioken times 2 and brings Gohan's power level to 120,000. He hits Vegeta pretty hard. Vegeta is impressed with this new power and decides to go to Great Ape form to see if its full extent, and Gohan fights very hard and manages to cut Vegeta's tails off. Vegeta is weakened and Gohan stops fighting. Goku is very proud of his son. He hears Vegeta out. Vegeta is surprised that a low-class warrior made a super strong kid. So then he explains that and talks about Frieza. Gohan also asks if they could wish back his friend Nappa, since he was the reason they were able to kill off a strong foe. So the Z fighters began to train for a whole week together. All at Kami's lookout, and Vegeta and Goku ask Bulma to make a gravity machine, and Vegeta and Bulma starts to hit it off. The 3 Saiyans train hard together. Goku and Gohan teach Vegeta the Kaioken. While the humans train together and work on fighting as a unit, during the year they use the Dragon Balls to make Krillin and Chaozu their rightful age, and with that it makes Krillin a bit stronger and able to use more of Kaioken and they wish back Nappa. Then it opens up the hyperbolic time chamber to the Z fighters. They use it to train with Gohan going in with Vegeta, Goku going in with Krillin, Tien and Yamcha go together, and Vegeta would go again with Nappa, and Master Roshi decides to not go in. During the time Vegeta and Gohan went in, Vegeta sees it at a point where Gohan goes beyond and flashes yellow for a second and passes out. Vegeta then talks to Goku about it and tells him that the legend about the Super Saiyan and Goku should try to achieve it. After Goku and Krillin go out, the last 2 remaining go in. Goku then goes to join Vegeta and Gohan, and Krillin joins in too for the day. Afterward, the year of training of the Z fighters, here's everyone's power level. Gohan's power level will be at 1 million, and with Kaioken times 8, he can go up to 8 million. Vegeta's power level will be at 950,000, and with Kaioken times 6, he goes to 5,700,000. Goku's power level would be 975,000 with Kaioken times 5 to 4,875,000. Nappa power level would be 900,000 with Kaioken times 2 to make it to 1.8 million. Krillin's power level would be at 850,000 with Kaioken times 9 at 7.6 million. Tien's power level would be at 700,000 with Kaioken times 4 at 2.8 million. Yamcha's power level would be at 600,000 with Kaioken times 4 at 2.4 million. Z-Virus heads off to go fight Frieza, and the team contains Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Nappa, Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha. They could eliminate all his soldiers easily, and the only true fight they would have to worry about is Frieza. They do bring some sensu beans with them, and they go and when they wish everyone farewell.
After they arrive at Frieza planet, they start to destroy all of Frieza's troops and make Frieza come to them. After a while, Frieza arrives and tells Dodoria and Zarbon to kill them and Yamcha. Easily bodies both of them without a sweat. Frieza is impressed but not afraid because all the Z fighters are suppressing their power levels. And Frieza uses his scouter and it only shows them at under 200,000. He laughs it off and thinks it will be an easy battle. Vegeta rushes up at him with a fast speed and punches Frieza out of his little pit, and Frieza is shocked, but he doesn't have much time to react while Vegeta is just plumbing Frieza into the ground with as much strength as he got, and goes only Kaioken times 2, so it will be a good bit over Frieza's first form full power. And then everyone starts going at him, and the humans are even doing good damaging since they are working as a team. At this point, Frieza is heavily beaten and Vegeta is about to do a final blow, but then Frieza says that if Vegeta really is gonna kill him, even without him using his full power. With this, Vegeta hesitates and it allows Frieza to transform quickly to his final form. With this, everyone can sense how strong he is. Everyone is completely shocked. Frieza instantly starts beating on Vegeta, and the humans will charge at him with their max Kaioken, and ever going a bit further with Krillin going at Kaioken times 10, and both Yamcha and Tien at Kaioken times 5. They are still not doing much damage to Frieza, and he kills off Tien and Yamcha by raising them completely, and Krillin is heavily beaten. So then the Saiyans all go charging at him with full strength, but it's not going so well. Gohan is doing his best. He can and non-stop full strength at Frieza, and his catches Frieza's eye, and he is impressed, but then shoots a death beam at Gohan. Goku, Nappa, and Vegeta get angry and charge up at Frieza, and all three of them pass up Gohan's power level and start beating on Frieza. Krillin, after eating a senzu bean, he gave one to Gohan, and Gohan gets a big Senkai boost, which brings him up to 20 mil. Krillin and Gohan would make up a plan together to hold off Frieza. Back with the other Saiyans, Goku is pissed off when trying to fight Frieza since he saw him kill his own son, but Frieza is beating on all three of them with ease. Goku is seeing that he isn't doing much, and he gets angrier and angrier because the last time he tried to save his son, he failed, and that is going all through his mind. That he failed, and then Frieza said that once he kills everyone here, that he will go to Earth and kill everyone slowly. With this thought, Goku snapped and a big flash of yellow light shined bright, and everyone looked at Goku's direction just to see a big yellow blur fly across them. Goku is in the process of turning Super Saiyan, but he isn't fully. Goku's hair is turning black and yellow repeatedly, and his pupils are gone. He is so angry that he has veins popping out of everywhere. Now his power has increased by 25 times, which brings his power level just below 25 mil. He charges up at Frieza so fast and he starts pounding on him. Frieza is taking damage and he wasn't ready for this. Now this is nowhere enough to take on Frieza one-on-one, but Goku got the element of surprise. Then while Goku is taking his anger off Frieza, Krillin and Gohan meet up with the other two to tell them his plan. He gives them both a senzu bean so they can heal up. The Zenkais they get brings Vegeta at 3.5 mil and Nappa at 2 mil. Krillin tries to tell them their plan, but they aren't listening because they are shocked that they see Goku at Super Saiyan level. Krillin snaps them out of it and tries to let them know a way they can beat Frieza. Back to Goku, he starts to get tired and slows down a bit, and this gives Frieza a chance to power up and starts to beat down on Goku. Goku is about to die when Nappa distracts him by shooting a ki blast at Frieza. Frieza throws Goku away and starts to charge at Nappa. Right now Frieza is done playing and starts going 50% of his full power. Frieza is about to impale Nappa when he sees that both Gohan and Vegeta are ape form in the background. This makes Frieza stop for a bit and gives Nappa the chance to grab his tail. He stomps on him, making Frieza drop to one knee, and Krillin uses his solar flare to blind Frieza. Then Gohan and Vegeta charge up a blast that they shot at Frieza, and they use all their force to blast at him. They see only rubble and think they killed the Emperor off.
So Krillin hits Goku to give him the last senzu bean while the others celebrate their victory. Then before Krillin can put the senzu bean in Goku's mouth, he is shot with a death beam by Frieza. The others notice and Vegeta and Nappa charge up at Frieza to fight him. Gohan is in disbelief, and when he sees Krillin's body on the floor lifeless, Gohan gets angry and sets off to go fight Frieza. Gohan, Vegeta, and Nappa fight Frieza, but it's not looking so good. Vegeta and Gohan are tired since they use their full force to blast at Frieza. Nappa charges up at Frieza, and Frieza grabs his tail. Nappa tries to get him off his tail, but Frieza starts punching Nappa over and over again. Nappa starts coughing off blood, and Gohan sees this and he tries to rush to save Nappa. But Vegeta stops him and says that they are the only hope if they want to defeat Frieza. So Vegeta heads off to fight Frieza instead of Gohan. Frieza blesses Nappa away and starts to toy with Vegeta. Goku finally wakes up and sees Krillin's body and his sensu being in front of him. Goku tries to give it to Krillin, but Krillin stops him and says to give it to Gohan since he's the best chance of them having to kill Frieza. And then Krillin passes away. Goku is powered up by anger and he flies to Gohan and tells him to eat the sensu bean, and he flies off to help Vegeta fight off Frieza. Goku is only about 25% of his full power, which is only 5 million. He goes Kaioken times 10 and does not worry about the backlash, so he goes out to 50 million. Vegeta starts to go Kaioken times 8 and his power level would be at 14 million. Together they fight Frieza, but they are only able to hold him off for a bit. Gohan is just there watching this and starts to break down. He sees everyone's faces before they left Earth and how they believed that he would be able to kill Frieza. They were all proud of him of being the strongest of them all. Then he sees them all dead in front of him. He gets angry that he couldn't save them. He thinks about how 3 of them are already dead and that if he doesn't do something, his friend Nappa, his master Vegeta, and his father will all die. He starts to punch the ground, screaming out what to do, and tears start to fall off his eyes. Frieza notices Gohan crying, so he sends a death beam to Gohan. As Gohan looks up, he sees a death beam, but he could not move. Then a big figure jumps in front of him. Nappa took the death beam and is barely alive. Gohan heads to Nappa and tries to give him the sensu bean, but denies it and says that Gohan is the only one able to stop Frieza. And then Nappa passes away. With this, Gohan snaps and he eats the sensu bean and starts screaming as he catches the attention of everyone left alive. Thunder strikes all around Gohan as his hair flashes yellow. He yells out a big roar and he is having the planet shaking on his power. As he becomes the first official Super Saiyan, his power is amazing. After eating the sensu bean, his power level was at 50 million with the Zenkai boost, turning Super Saiyan Bright up to 250 million, but he's also getting an extra rage boost that brings him up to 300 million. He charges up at Frieza and gives him a smashing kick to the jaw, and it sends Frieza flying into the ground. Goku and Vegeta are just there stunned as Gohan does not give Frieza a chance to breathe. He starts pounding at him over and over again. Frieza begs for mercy, but all Gohan can see is the people that died because of Frieza. As Gohan puts his hand in front of Frieza and yells Big Bang Attack, as the Emperor screams out, his scream is faded not long after. Gohan passes out from his Super Saiyan form. Goku grabs Gohan's body and he says he did a good job, as him and Vegeta head back to Earth.
After they head back to Earth, they quickly gather the Dragon Balls to wish back their friends who died. Gohan resting at home, Chi-Chi was upset about how they came back from the fight with Frieza. She and Goku argue about this, but then Goku states that he was the one that finished Frieza and that Gohan was the strongest fighter. He manages to convince her to keep on training his son. After they wish back the others and Gohan is fully recovered again, the Saiyans trains because Gohan is the only one who unlocked Super Saiyan, with Goku being the second closest one. Gohan and Goku try to explain what they felt during their time as Super Saiyans. Goku isn't able to explain much since he did not unlock it fully. Gohan tries to tap into the power again, but is having trouble and is only to turn his hair yellow repeatedly. Vegeta is kinda upset about this, but he brushes it off. Then they decide to keep on training together, and Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha join them to get stronger. Vegeta ends up staying with Bulma and they start to get their relationship going. Yamcha doesn't like this, but he tries to fight for Bulma's love, but the match doesn't go so well in Yamcha since Vegeta is much stronger. But Yamcha could put up a fight. Trunks arrives, and this Trunk is exact same as the canon Trunks. He notices that no one's around and doesn't see Frieza, so he goes to Goku's house. He knocks on the door for Chi-Chi to answer and politely asks if he can see Goku. Chi-Chi's a little concerned and asks why, and Trunks explains that he is from the future and needs to give him a medicine. Chi-Chi will make sure Goku takes his medicine and tells Trunks where he could meet him. Trunks flies to Goku's location and sees him training with Vegeta, Gohan, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, and a bunch of other fighters. He does not know who Nappa is and is confused because he can't find Piccolo, since Piccolo is in the original timeline. He flies down and everyone notices him. Trunks calls out for Goku and to talk to him in private. Everyone is confused. Trunks asks if Goku can turn Super Saiyan. Goku says he can't turn, and Trunks is shocked and scared. He asks if anyone in the group knows, and Goku says that his son Gohan is the only one who can go to that form. Trunks is shocked because Gohan in his future said that Goku was the first Super Saiyan. So Goku calls down Gohan and he heads over to Trunks to ask him to go Super Saiyan. And he does, and they spar a little. Gohan is actually putting pressure on Trunks and he is losing his ground. Afterwards, he tells both of them what happens in the future, and they get a bit worried. Trunks lets them know that Chi-Chi has a cure for the disease Goku gets. So with this, Gohan also would make sure Goku took his medicine. Before Trunks leaves, he asks Goku about this Piccolo person, and he tells him that the last time he heard that name was when he was a kid and killed King Piccolo. Trunks ends up leaving with the Sea Fighters, train the next 3 years for the androids. Then they does not inform everyone else besides Vegeta and Nappa, since it might change from Trunks being born, and Nappa might tell Vegeta. Goku tells Nappa and Vegeta that they will keep training hard for the next 3 years, since a strong foe will come, and they need to unlock Super Saiyan and try to master it.
So for the next year, the Z Fighters train hard together and get stronger. But most of the year, they were split into two groups, as the humans and Saiyans. The humans trained at King Kai's place, trying to master their Kaioken, and they even learned the Spirit Bomb. With the Saiyans, they will train in the Gravity Chamber, and they will all work on getting Super Saiyan. During this year, Vegeta and Bulma do have Trunks. And since they all train together, it's not much of a surprise this time around. Since the power levels are not so accurate after the Frieza saga, we're just going to say the characters strongest to weakest. So it will go from Gohan to Vegeta to Goku to Krillin to Nappa to Tien and to Yamcha. Nappa is the only Saiyan who did not achieve the Super Saiyan transformation during the years of training, but he can use up to Kaioken times 5. Humans can use more of Kaioken than the Saiyans since they trained a lot with King Kai to try to master it, while the Saiyans were not too focused on Kaioken but Super Saiyan. When the time comes, they all meet up and watch over the city. The humans stick together while the Saiyans are away from each other. The humans end up meeting up with the androids and they begin to brawl out with Android 19 and Dr. Jerome. Now the androids are stronger in this timeline than the canon since the bug drone never got blown up by the Saiyan attack. The androids know Kaioken and have information about the Super Saiyan. The humans are all fighting Android 19 and are barely holding their ground against even with Kaioken activated. Then they decided to do a combination attack while on their highest Kaioken level, and will be that Krillin is on Kaioken times 20 while the other two are in Kaioken times 15. This heavily damages 19, but 19 activates Kaioken times 10 and is able to fight back against the human trio. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Nappa do sense this and they head toward the direction. 19 starts to take away Yamcha's energy and this shocks Tien and Krillin. Tien goes to Kaioken times 20 while Krillin goes to Kaioken times 25. They charge at 19 and start beating on him. Then they try to think of a plan on the fly, but then 19 shoots an eye beam towards Krillin, but Yamcha pushes him out the way and he gets blasted, and this makes Krillin angry. He grabs a sensu bean, eats it so he can get his strength back, and he tosses the bag of sensu beans to Tien and tells Tien to go help Yamcha. Then Krillin goes to Kaioken times 30 to go fight 19. King Kai tries to warn him that his body won't be able to handle it for long, but Krillin keeps going. 19 is getting overwhelmed and Krillin is not giving 19 a chance to do anything. Krillin quickly charges up a Destructo Disc and shoots it so fast that it cuts off one of Android 19's hand. The Saiyan finally arrives and Krillin tells them that he got 19 and to go get Dr. Gero. They listen to him and Goku is shocked at how much Krillin has grown as a warrior. Dr. Gero starts to fly towards his lab while the Saiyans chase them. Back to Krillin, his body starts to give out and 19 is able to turn the tables on him and starts to beat on him. Tien and Yamcha come to his aid to hold off 19. Things aren't looking so good for Yamcha and Tien since they aren't even as strong as Krillin. Back to Krillin, even with his body giving out, he still has the strength to get up and put both his hands up in the sky, trying to axe the earth for energy.
Goku, Vegeta, Nappa, and Gohan all chase after Dr. Gero. Gero is using Kaioken times 20 just to be able to keep distance between him and the Saiyans. Then Gero thinks of one thing and he turns around quickly and uses a solar flare that hits all 4 of them, blinding them, and it gives Gero time to flee and go to his lab. Back to the humans, Tien and Yamcha are holding off 19 and in the back, Krillin is charging up the well-known Spirit Bomb, but he has some other plan on how to use it. He tells the other two to last another 5 minutes while he charges up the Spirit Bomb. So Tien and Yamcha pull out a technique they learned during their time with King Kai. They both stand next to each other and start to do a fusion dance. They fuse and become Tiencha. Now this fusion isn't super strong since both Tien and Yamcha were beaten up and worn out, but they still try their best to hold off 19, but they are able to do alright against the android. 5 minutes ended up passing and both defuse. Tien and Yamcha are worried, but Krillin is done with this charging up the Spirit Bomb, but he isn't about to throw it. Krillin fuses the energy with himself, and a strong aura appears on Krillin, and it shocks everyone. The Saiyan and even the androids are surprised by this power. Krillin even rivals the power of the Super Saiyan, but he knows that his body won't hold off any longer, so he will finish it with only one blow. So he charges up at 19 with insane speed, and 19 has no time to react, and Krillin puts all the energy he got into one of his fists and punches 19's head clean off and uses the rest of the energy to erase his entire body. Yamcha and Tien are amazed by his power, but Krillin isn't able to stand much longer and goes unconscious. Goku felt the power and is proud of how strong his best friend got, and that his powers even surpass his. Now the Saiyans are trying to look for Jiro, but it was too late, and Jiro activates Android 17 and 18, and they killed Jiro on the spot, but they accidentally used too much power and blasted the whole mountain away with only remaining 17 and 18. Even when Tien and Yamcha sees this from the city they are in, they give Krillin a senzu bean and they head towards the other location. The others see the androids and they charge into battle without question. The only one at a disadvantage is Nappa, since he does not have Super Saiyan, but even with all of them having Super Saiyan, they are having trouble fighting them. The humans activate Kaioken to get there quicker, but they don't know if they would get there in time to support the others.
The Saiyans are having trouble fighting the androids. Goku and Gohan are fighting 17 while Vegeta and Nappa are fighting 18. While Goku and Gohan fight 17, they notice that he is mainly focusing on Goku and just throw Gohan out the way. 17 is thrashing Goku and is able to kill him, but 18 stops him because she wants some of the fun too. So they go to fight the others. 17 beats on Gohan while 18 knocks out Nappa and fights Vegeta. And that fight kind of goes similar to canon. The humans finally arrive and Krillin says to each to go help to fight the androids while he gives the fighters who are down a senzu bean. Krillin goes to Nappa and Goku and gives them a senzu bean. It gives them both a bit of a Zenkai boost. Nappa does feel anger towards himself and how he is weaker than a human and how he has not achieved the Super Saiyan level. He considers himself a failure to the Saiyan race, and with this anger he achieves the Super Saiyan status. He helps Vegeta and Yamcha to fight 18 while Goku helps Tien and Gohan to fight 17. Krillin's about to help the others when he is kicked away by Android 16. He survived the explosion and he was given his mission to kill Son Goku. Krillin goes up and activates Kaioken times 15 to fight against 16. Krillin is having a good battle with 16, but 16 gets the edge of the battle and is able to seriously hurt Krillin. Trunks finally arrives to help the others and tells Krillin to go help the others and he'll have 16. While Trunks is fighting 16, 16 tries to go to fight Goku, but he is sliced up by Trunks, and with this, Android 16 self-destructs, and the blast is big enough to hit everyone. Nappa is the first one to get up and sees 18 picking up a damaged 17 with a missing arm. 18 then sees Nappa while he charges up a big blast, but Krillin yells at him to watch out, but it was too late. He is blasted in the back by Cell and he collapsed to the ground. Cell does talk about him being brought to 17 and 18 that he will absorb them to become perfect. He proceeds to walk towards them, but then is kicked to the face by Gohan. Gohan was barely affected by the explosion since Goku tried to protect him before he got blasted. Gohan fights against Cell and tells the androids to go, but 17 does not listen to him and tries to fight Cell. 17 ends up getting absorbed and Cell becomes semi-perfect and gets a big power boost. Krillin quickly gives the others a senzu bean because Gohan would need to go back to fight against Cell. He tells the others that he will take the last android away from Cell and to see what he can do. He takes 18 and they both fly away to a safe place. Cell is powerful and could take on the others on a one-on-one, but not all together. So he uses a quick solar flare and everyone but one is affected by this. He flies to 18 and Krillin. Tien is able to avoid the effect of the solar flare and he activates Kaioken times 20 for a bit to catch up Cell. He hits him hard and charges a tri-beam and shoots it again repeatedly to hold him off until the others can see. Tien could not hold off Cell any longer, since he activated Kaioken times 20 and he powers down with his body hurting. Cell is angry and charges at Tien and gives him a punch in the stomach and stabs him, so whatever energy he has left in Tien then blasts him away that ends up being a fatal blow to Tien. Krillin senses this and gets angry and uses Kaioken times 25 to quickly get to Bulma's house.
Krillin arrives at Bulma's place and tells her to help Android 18 while he fights off the imperfect Cell. He stands off against the Cell ready to give it his all. Cell just mocks Krillin and says that he would spare him if he stepped aside. This makes Krillin mad and he charges up instantly to Kaioken times 30. He knows that he won't be able to defeat Cell, but he plans just to hold him off until the others get here. While Cell underestimated Krillin, he was able to beat Cell using full power. Krillin tried to use some of his combos techniques, but they weren't working because Cell had the same techniques. Android 18 saw this and decided to help Krillin fight Cell together and pull some teamwork. Cell gets angry and charges at Android 18, ready to absorb her. Krillin pushes her out of the way and blasts Cell with everything he has, but it wasn't enough and gets stabbed with Cell's tail. He yells at 18 to fly away. Here, she listens and starts to fly away. Krillin forms a little destructive disc and cuts off Cell's tail and quickly uses a solar flare. Then Krillin grabs a hold of Cell's tail and flies towards the direction of the others. They finally recovered from the solar flare and started to fly towards Krillin. They sense his energy fading and rush over there. Cell quickly recovers and punches Krillin away. Cell tries to fly to 18, but Krillin keeps getting in his way, so Cell gets upset and blasts Krillin through his chest, killing him. In the background, 18 witnesses this and sees how hard Krillin tried to protect her, and it shocks her. She's about to jump to fight, but the others arrive to fight. They'll jump into a fight with Cell, while Yamcha tries to find Krillin quickly. 18 is next to Krillin's body to try to keep him alive, while she flies towards Yamcha to help Krillin. Back to the others, they start to beat on Cell, and they are doing well on it. After a while, Cell pleads with Vegeta and Nappa to let him absorb 18 so he can become perfect and give them a real challenge. With Vegeta and Nappa wanting to test their newfound power, they help him absorb 18 so Vegeta, Nappa, and Cell fight against Goku, Gohan, and Tien. Yamcha gives Krillin a senzu bean, and all three of them see the big brawl and are confused that Vegeta and Nappa are fighting with Cell. Krillin tells 18 to stay back while him and Yamcha would help fight off Cell. They charge up and help Tien fight Cell. Goku and Gohan pull a technique that they have been working on. They stack up Super Saiyan and Kaioken together and they beat on Vegeta and Nappa and knock them out, but this does knock them out as well. The humans are out of senzu beans, so they are the only ones left to stop Cell. Cell easily beats on Tien and Yamcha when he absorbs a lot of their energy. He beats on Krillin and blasts him with the Kamehameha, and Krillin is barely conscious afterwards. 18 saves Krillin and says that she will let Cell absorb her if she keeps them alive, and he accepts that deal. Krillin tries to stop, but is barely able to move his body. Cell absorbs 18 and becomes perfect. He lets Krillin know that he will have a tournament in 10 days, and then he flies off while Krillin passes out.
Krillin wakes up and gives everyone a senzu bean and tells everyone what has happened. Everyone decides to train hard for the week that they have left. Trunks and Vegeta goes into the time chamber to train while the others train outside. Their time in the time chamber is the same as canon. Afterwards, Goku and Gohan go in, and during their time, they bond even more, and Goku apologizes for how they didn't get a lot of time to be father and son. Gohan understands it, given the circumstances they got fighting in battle after another one, but he says that he enjoys fighting and would like to do it more with Goku more often. Goku is happy to hear this, and they continue to train until they perfect the Super Saiyan transformation, and they both unlock Super Saiyan 2, but they keep it a secret. Nappa is kind of upset that he didn't get to train with anyone, but Krillin offers him and they both go into the time chamber together, while Tien and Yamcha wait their turn. During the time, Krillin and Nappa in the time chamber are interesting. Krillin is mentoring Nappa so that he doesn't get left behind by the other Saiyans, and Nappa opens up during this time with Krillin, and they start to bond. He talks about how it's been him and Vegeta for a long time. Now they have a group of fighters all fighting together. And that he is having trouble keeping up since he's getting old and lived a lot of his life fighting. Krillin kind of felt the same with him and Goku trained together, and Goku getting stronger and stronger. Krillin told Nappa that it's possible to keep up, even giving him the option of using the Dragon Balls to make him younger, and Nappa considers it. They keep on training, and Krillin even helps Nappa perfect Super Saiyan and gets him close to unlocking Super Saiyan 2, but he doesn't transform into it. Krillin gets way stronger and is able to handle Kaioken times 30, and feels more inspired to keep on fighting. They come out of the time chamber, and Nappa gives Vegeta a confident look and asks him to have a sparring match. Yamcha and Tien go in together and start training. During their time, they discuss how everyone is getting stronger. Tien wants to continue to fight along with them, but he seems so weak, and that they all have transformations to make them so strong. Yamcha feels the same, but he mentions Krillin on how he got so strong to even surpass a Super Saiyan. They train fiercely to catch up with everyone and always having Kaioken activated. They discuss that one day they would find a technique that will support them and catch up to the Saiyan. They come out of the time chamber heavily damaged but with a smile on their face because they find out a technique, and everyone sees them excitingly. While everyone starts to watch Nappa and Vegeta spar, every blow causes a shockwave both at Super Saiyan. Nappa says that he won't be left behind anymore and that he will keep striving for higher power. This puts a smile on Vegeta's face, and Vegeta is feeling pressure when fighting Nappa. Vegeta activates his Super Vegeta form and starts to overwhelm Nappa, but Nappa got a trick up his sleeve. Nappa activates Kaioken on Super Saiyan during the time in the time chamber. Krillin gave Nappa the idea of Super Saiyan with Kaioken, and Krillin helped them get able to use more of Kaioken with Super Saiyan. No one was expecting this, and Krillin cracked a smile, feeling proud for Nappa. Their blows are connecting, blow after blow, leaving a bit of pressure of air that the other Z fighters can feel. Cell can even feel the power and is impressed. Their battle is moved away from the lookout because they could possibly destroy it. Both of them are heavily damaged, but none of them give in and continue fighting, throwing everything they have at each other without holding back. This gives them flashback to them when they were younger, sparring against each other. They land a blow that hits each other, and they both start to charge up and blast with their full strength. Nappa charges up a Bomber XZ, and Vegeta charges up a Final Flash, and their blasts collides. And they have a beam struggle that destroys a lot of the area surrounding them. The others sense this, and then a big explosion erupts that hurts both Vegeta and Nappa. Vegeta slowly gets up and gives Nappa a hand to pick him up, and Vegeta thanks Nappa for raising him and thanks him for the great battle. Nappa smiles and then says that they will take on Cell together and beat him easily. They get back and heal up. Goku and Gohan decides to just relax for the rest of the days they have, and the humans all train together to get stronger. Trunk, Vegeta, and Nappa all train in the gravity chamber and get to know each other more. Nappa even tells some stories of young Vegeta to Trunks, and they all bond together. The day of the Cell games arrives, and they all gear up and head to the area to prepare to fight Cell to save the world. The Z fighters arrive and they see a weird man fighting Cell, but he's not doing anything. And yes, we were talking about the Great Hercule, but Cell still slaps him away. Cell asks Goku to fight him first, but Goku is about to go, but Krillin stops him and asks if he can go first. Goku is shocked with this, but Krillin shows no fear. He lands on the arena and gets in a stance to fight Cell, but Cell just mocks him. This angers Krillin, and then he thinks when he couldn't protect Android 18. He starts to charge up and heads towards Cell, and lands a blow that actually hurts Cell. Cell is shocked and doesn't see his full power. Krillin keeps up with Cell going full power. Cell is getting upset that he's getting humiliated by a human and begins to power up. Krillin is not struggling to even hit him. He then starts to power up a Destructo Disc, but he puts the key in his hand and makes a Keyblade. He strikes at him, cutting off his arm. Cell grows back his arm, and the others are confused on how he can do that. Cell is about to call off the match, but Krillin says wait and lets him try his new technique. Cell is interested a bit, and the others are too, while Yamcha and Tien give a little smirk. Krillin starts to charge up, and a red aura appears around him. His muscles starts to bulk up a lot close to how Super Vegeta is, but then his muscles gets back to normal, but his power increases. During the past couple of days before the Cell games, Tien and Yamcha figured out a way of perfecting Kaioken and getting its power without any drawbacks. They taught Krillin this, and then they kept it activated to make it as their base. Krillin's power level almost increased 20-fold. He begins to brawl it out with Cell, and their battle is amazing, but Cell is only using 25% of his full power. Krillin can't hold out much longer and gives up. Everyone is proud of him with this new transformation that the humans have learned. Cell then calls for Goku, but then he says to let someone else go. Vegeta steps in to fight Cell. This Vegeta is stronger than canon, but the androids Cell absorbs are also stronger than canon. Vegeta goes full power and blasts Cell with a Final Flash. Cell is erased, and Vegeta believes he killed Cell, but then he is stabbed with a Keyblade by Cell. Now, with a Cell having Saiyan cells, he got a Zenkai boost that made him extremely stronger. Everyone's a little scared, but Nappa and Trunks are angry and attack Cell, but Cell is making easy work of them. Tien and Yamcha fused and go to aid Trunks and Nappa. Vegeta is barely holding on, and Krillin gives him a sensu beam. Goku and Gohan are speechless when seeing everyone fighting Cell, but aren't doing much to him. Cell blasts everyone off and says to Goku that he would fight Son Goku right now. Goku goes up to Cell and gives in a fighting pose, but he tells Cell and everyone that he doesn't think he'll win, and the Z Fighters gives off a look of fright, while Cell just laughs. Goku points at Gohan and says that he can beat you with such confidence. Cell gets angry and screams that he doesn't care and sends a blast that goes through Gohan's chest. Goku's face changes so quickly in horror and screams at Krillin to give him a sensu beam. Cell sends another beam at Krillin, but Trunks hold it off and tells Krillin to hurry up and give it to Gohan. Cell charges up at Trunks, but Goku gives him a kick to the face. He yells out in anger and activates Super Saiyan 2 and begins to fight with Cell. But Cell is just too strong even with Goku at Super Saiyan 2. Goku then piles Kaioken times 20 on him and is destroying his body, but he doesn't care for the backlash and just fights Cell. With this, he is beating Cell by a lot, and Cell can't fight back, but then Cell activates his own Kaioken. Cell is able to beat Goku with ease, and other Z fighters continue to fight Cell. Gohan eats a senzu bean while Krillin and Trunks go to aid the other Z fighters. Cell is able to take on all the other Z fighters even when they're all fighting together. Gohan is just standing there in fright and confusion. 30 days before the Cell games, Gohan grew so much stress because he felt the same way he felt when they fought Frieza. He had all the weight on his shoulders that if he fails, it'll all be on him. Then Gohan hears his name being called, and his father says that he has to let it loose and find his strength. Goku said to think about what would happen if they all lose, and to think about all their friends dying because they couldn't protect them. This thought snaps Gohan into his senses, the image of all the people he cares about dying. He powers up screaming that he can all be heard around the world. The earth shaking intensely. It stopped everyone from fighting and lightning striking everywhere. Gohan continues his screaming, his hair all spiked up, veins popping out. His eyes are all white. Yellow light shines so brightly that no one can even look at him. A big pressure of air pushes everyone away. Gohan's hair is long and spiky, with no eyebrows and still no pupil. Gohan has become a Super Saiyan 3, but he isn't in full control. His anger has taken over. He strikes at Cell with each blow, then Cell gags out and pukes up 18 and 17. Cell returns to his imperfect form and Gohan charges a big bang attack and Cell is completely erased with nothingness. Everyone was glad it was over, but it wasn't. Gohan couldn't control the power and started destroying the area around him. The Z-Fighters dodged the blast while some got hurt. Krillin and Trunks tried to detain him, but they couldn't get close and only got hurt. Goku then goes to Vegeta and says the only way to control him is for them to fuse like Yamcha and Tien did. Vegeta angrily agrees and they go to Tien and Yamcha quickly teach them the fusion dance. Nappa tries to contain Gohan, but he couldn't for long. Goku and Vegeta learn the dance and they become Gogeta and go to fight Gohan. Their powers are shaking the earth and each blow was powerful. Their power was close, but Gogeta had the advantage and he uses full power to one-punch Gohan and Gohan passes out. And that's how the Cell game ends. And you know, the big thing is Goku isn't dead. Goku does not die and does not stay there for 7 years. So throughout the 7 years, it's going to be kind of different. Gohan still trains with Goku and Vegeta, you know, so they can get stronger, so Gohan can control this Super Saiyan 3 form. Goten and Kid Trunks, they do join in to train and they become stronger. Future Trunks still leaves back to his future. Nappa, throughout the 7 years, he decides that he will get the Dragon Balls and wish him to become a bit younger so that he can stay up to par with the other Saiyans. The humans all still train. Gohan still goes to school, but, you know, he's not as interested as, you know, he wants to become more powerful. He wants to become the savior. He's more like, he's currently the strongest Z fighter out of everyone. So the humans all train, the Saiyans all train, everyone's stronger for the Buu Saga. Goten and Trunks are stronger, but Goten is stronger out of the two. During his free time, Goten and Goku train hard, and Gohan would join as well. And with Gohan being the strongest, it affects Goten more. The World's Martial Art Tournament still happens, and it doesn't change much, besides there's more Z fighters in it. The people in the tournament is the same, but more Z fighters are there. So the list are Krillin, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Videl, Nappa, Tien, Yamcha, and 18. The kids division would go similar up until Goten versus Trunks when they are fighting and both pop Super Saiyan. Goten still has the upper hand and even goes to Super Saiyan 2 just to flex, and he beats Trunks. Trunks thinks it's unfair and would want a rematch when Trunks learns Super Saiyan 2, and Goten agrees. You see, in this what if the kids are more into fighting since they have trained longer. Vegeta is upset that Goku taught his kid Super Saiyan 2, but Goku said that he never did. Goten just knew how to turn Super Saiyan 2. So the reason Goten knows this is because he was made when Goku had already had Super Saiyan 2 like unlocked. Since Piccolo isn't there in this timeline, they would not discover who Shin and Kibito are until way later in the tournament. When Gohan powers up, he is the strongest currently in the group, and when Spopovich and Yamu take his energy, they take a lot more and is close to filling up Buu. The Z-Fighter still goes to the Majin layer, and Daburo spits on Krillin and Tien. 18 stays behind to win the tournament, and I forgot to mention that Goten and Trunks are different in this timeline. They're focused and spend a lot more time training, so they are more serious and more into fighting. So they go with the other Z fighters, and so that also means no Mighty Mass situation. The fight goes the same, but Gohan beats Dabura easily and Vegeta doesn't become Majin because he isn't angry at Gohan for being weaker, and Goku was never dead. This is bad for Buu because he wouldn't have enough energy to spawn, so Shin and Kibito take away Buu to destroy him and Vegeta kills off Babidi. Now the Z Fighters continues with life and trains hard again. The humans do ask Shin to see if they can train him to catch up with the Saiyans, and Shin agrees to train them. So the time skip happens, and then these are the power level scaling. Gohan is still on top, Goku and Vegeta are under Gohan, but they are equal. Then Nappa, then Goten and Trunks, then Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha. Beerus still wakes up from his dream and wants to see the Super Saiyan God. Beerus asks Whis to see what Saiyans are left, and the Whis says there are many on planet Earth currently, and the one who slain Frieza is there as well. Beerus is shocked to hear that Frieza was killed, and he asks who did it, and Whis showed Beerus that a kid was able to kill Frieza, and this shocked Beerus even more, and decides it's time to leave, to head off to Earth, as normal. Now Goku is on Earth with Vegeta training together while everyone else is at Bulma's birthday party. King Kai warns Goku and Vegeta for Beerus, and Vegeta tells Goku about Beerus. This knowledge doesn't change much for Goku because he still wants to fight him. Beerus survives, and they try to keep him happy, and he would stay happy since there's no Majin Buu. But at the end of the day, he would still want to see the Super Saiyan God. So they use the Dragon Balls to see how to get the Super Saiyan God, and Shenron says that to summon the Super Saiyan God, 5 pure-hearted Saiyans must put their energy into 1 pure-hearted Saiyan. Now they do have enough Saiyans in this what if, so Videl does not have to reveal that she is pregnant. And they do the ritual, but instead of Goku, it would be on Gohan, since he is still the strongest of all the Saiyans. Gohan fights Beerus, and they fight it out, and this fight is more powerful than the one when Goku was fighting Beerus. Beerus is stunned at the power of this half-breed, and asks him how he became so strong. Gohan replied that he never wanted to fight, but in the beginning of the way his life turned out, he became a fighter. And after he killed Frieza, he felt like he was responsible, and he felt the way that how everyone would like believe in him when he had to beat the bad guy. So he kept training to never let the Earth in danger. Beerus then asks how Gohan feels about his power, and Gohan says he likes it and he thinks that he can always protect the Earth with this power. Then Beerus offers to train him and the Saiyans to get his sort of power. Gohan accepts this and thanks Beerus. They finish off their battle with a final clash and then head back down to Earth, with everyone looking in awe. The Saiyans are shocked about this power, and they all want to have it and want to train with Beerus. Then the 3 humans ask if Beerus can train them as well. Beerus is questioned about this, but Krillin says to let the humans show what they got against Beerus. And Beerus still has energy left, so he agrees with this. Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha powers up to Mystic form, and Tien and Yamcha fuses to become Mystic Tien-Shan. This power level is almost close to Gohan at Super Saiyan 3, and it shocks that the Saiyans that mere humans are able to gain so much power with limited transformations. The humans also stack Kaioken with Mystic form, and they go attack Beerus together. Beerus does only have to put a little bit of power to fight off the humans, but it impresses Beerus that those 3 are able to put up a fight for only being normal human beings, and agrees to train them as well. So all the Z Fighters are able to train with the God of Destruction. Not all the Z Fighters stay there all the time because some stayed longer than the others. They are the fighters that stay the longest are Vegeta, Goku, Nappa, Tien, and Yamcha. The other fighters that did go there for a decent amount of time is just that they didn't have much free time as those fighters. Gohan is still the strongest, but the gap between him, Goku, and Vegeta are closer. Nappa is not far behind the others. Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha are all close, and then is Goten and Trunks, since they have the least amount of training on that planet. Frieza resurrected as normal, and it gives him time to train. Another thing is, King Cole was never killed off, so he trains with his son, and they both train hard together for the couple months. He trains hardest since usual, since he is ashamed that he got killed by a kid the last time he was alive. After they train, they head up to Earth. Frieza and his army gets to Earth, and they are the fighters that are on Earth currently is Krillin, Goten, Trunks, Gohan, Tien, Yamcha, 18, and 17. Now, before we continue, the reason Android 17 is present because back when they defeated Cell, Gohan punched Cell so hard that Cell puked up both the androids. 17 stayed hidden for a while because he didn't know what to do, but at this point he is a park ranger and he doesn't want the planet to be destroyed by Frieza. He has sensed a strong power back when he was on the island, and he was worried about the planet, so he headed over there to defend on whatever threat that was coming to Earth. Frieza lands on Earth with his many soldiers, and he sends them off to fight. Now the Z fighters are all stronger, and 17 and 18 But they didn't really train under Beerus. But because of the Z Fighters were stronger in this What If, the androids were also as strong as the Z Fighters back then. The Frieza army isn't a warm-up for any of the Z Fighters on Earth. Back to Beerus' planet, Goku, Nappa, and Vegeta sense this, and Whis asks if they want him to send them back to Earth, and they say no. Since Gohan is the strongest there, they aren't worried and believe Gohan will be able to defeat Frieza and King Cold. Back on Earth, Frieza lands and asks where Gohan is, so he can get revenge on the person who killed him. Gohan steps forward and gives Frieza a chance to leave the planet peacefully and alive. Everyone is shocked and does see the Goku inside Gohan. Frieza laughs at this offer. While he laughs, he sees Goten and mistakes him for Goku. Without hesitation, he sends a death beam towards Goten, but Gohan is so fast that he blocks the attack with ease. This upsets Gohan quickly, and he goes up to Frieza with such speed and punches him with such strength that Frieza pukes up blood and flies away. Frieza is angry and calls that a cheap blow, but Gohan doesn't stop and continues to beat on him. Gohan doesn't make the mistake to let Frieza charge up, so Gohan charges up a Kamehameha and shoots it at Frieza that completely erases him. King Cole sees this and transforms quickly, but Goten and Trunks fuse and activate Super Saiyan God to become Super Saiyan God Gotenks. Gotenks starts to fight King Cole, but they are having a bit of a trouble. Then Gohan activates Super Saiyan Blue and erases King Cold with ease. Everyone cheers and congratulates Gohan. Goku was kind of disappointed because he wanted to see Frieza with full power, but Whis did point out that it was good that Gohan finished Frieza off quickly. They do continue on training with Beerus, and Gohan decides to focus more on training to become even stronger. Goku decides to take Goten more as well, and Goten train hard. It takes a while until Vegeta continues his training and sees Goten, and he yells at Goku for letting his son train before Trunks would train. Far into the corner of the Universe 7, Universe 6's God of Destruction Angel arrives trying to look for the Super Dragon Balls that resides in Universe 7. Champa meets with Beerus, and they do have the little contest of who has the better food, as normal. With not only Goku and Vegeta being there, it would also be Goten, Trunks, and Gohan. Seeing this contest, the Universe 7 vs Universe 6 tournament begins. Now the candidates in Universe 7 would be different. Instead of Piccolo, it would be Gohan, since Piccolo never existed in this What If. Instead of Majin Buu, it would be Goten, since Majin Buu never got enough energy to spawn back, and there would be no need for Monaka as well, and then Trunks would just take Monaka's place. They still do take the test, and Gohan would ace as well as Goten and Trunks, since they are all smart. Vegeta would pass, and Goku would barely pass the test as normal. The Universe 7 vs Universe 6 tournament is about to begin. The first battle would be Botamo versus Trunks. Trunks would be smart enough to realize that his physical attacks aren't doing anything to Botamo, and he would be smart enough to realize the only way to defeat Botamo would just to be to throw him out of the ring, which he does, and he wins the round. Vegeta is proud of him, and Trunks is getting ready to fight Magneto now. Trunks is a bit more serious in this What If, but he still has the same way of insulting others, and he would insult Magetta. During their fight, Trunks would notice that would be his weakness, so Trunks would keep throwing insults at him and just give him a strong kick that knocks him out. Trunks thinks this tournament is going to be a breeze, but then Frost comes up and everyone is shocked because he's the same race as Frieza was in their universe. Trunks thinks back to Frieza when he invaded Earth and all the stories that Vegeta and Nappa told him. He doesn't hold back and activates Super Saiyan 2 and rushes Frost, and Frost wasn't ready for this and tries to his best to fight back. After a while of fighting, Trunks starts to slow down and powers down from Super Saiyan 2, and he collapses on the floor, passed out. The others get worried about Trunks, and then they see that he got poisoned, and the announcer is about to take Frost out the tournament. Before that, Goten stops them and says he wants to fight him to test his strength. Goku is part of Goten wanting to try to fight on his own to test the enemy. Goten and Frost get on the tournament ground and begin to fight. Goten is quick and gets behind Frost and kicks him across the head. Everyone is shocked at the speed of only a kid. Goku then states that Goten is strong even though he doesn't have the Super Saiyan God transformation. Goten then goes Super Saiyan 2 and stacks Kaioken times 20. Goten then feels the strain on his body, so he knows that he'll have to end it quickly. So he charges at Frost and hits him with barrages of attacks and ends up with a powerful Kamehameha that pushes Frost off the ring, and Goten wins the round. Then Universe 6 is on their last fighter hit. Everyone can tell how strong this foe is, and Goten still wants to fight even though he feels a little bit of pain. Goten then thinks about this would be easy, so he goes to Super Saiyan and charges that hit. Without a second, Goten gets hit once and gets knocked out of the ring and is even completely passed out. This shocks everyone on how quick that fight went. Then it was Gohan's turn. He was furious about his brother getting hurt badly, and he transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and stacks Kaioken on top. The power is so strong that it could barely be contained. As soon as the match starts, Gohan can see and hit fights, and he thinks of a plan to counteract it. He decides to just dodge it and pull out all of his strength into one blow to get a quick match. He rushes at Hit and dodges his hit, but still feels pain and realizes that Hit is faster than he thought. Gohan already has his energy all into his fist, and he tries his best to touch Hit so he could try to take Hit out. He punches Hit with all his force so that it makes Hit fly out the ring and a massive pressure wave is felt around space. Universe 7 takes the win for the tournament. Goku and Vegeta are upset that they didn't fight, but they always thought they would have another chance later. Now to Goku Blackheart. In Trunks' timeline, he is fighting a foe that is extremely tough, even stronger than how Goku Black was in canon. As the smoke clears up, Trunks' expression is in complete disbelief as he sees the face that he thought he would never see again. His mentor, Gohan, was destroying the earth. Trunks is frozen in fear and on how Gohan is alive, but he doesn't look like the same Gohan from his timeline, but he knows that's Gohan. Trunks runs to his time machine back to the past to go get some help, but he passes out. Trunks wakes up to Bulma and Goku, and he seems relieved. Gohan arrives because he wanted to greet Trunks. When Trunks saw Gohan, he struck at Gohan, but Gohan was quick enough to block his hit. Everyone is confused on why Trunks tried to attack Gohan, and Trunks came to his senses and explained what happened. After Trunks explained, a black portal opened up, and a Gohan wearing black clothing pops out of a portal. Everyone is confused, and Gohan asks why does that look like him, and Gohan Black just smirks and starts shooting ki blasts. Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, and Gohan starts blocking them, and Gohan says that he will fight his clone. Gohan goes next to Gohan Black and asks him why does he look like him, and Gohan Black says that he was the strongest mortal, and he didn't think mortals should have this body, so he wished to switch bodies with the strongest Saiyan, and Gohan got furious that this imposter was using his power and face to cause destruction. Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 and starts fighting Gohan Black, and the fight goes similar to how Goku vs Goku Black went, but since Gohan knows the consequences for not finishing the battle quickly, so Gohan manages to kill off Gohan Black. Trunks is shocked on how Gohan managed to kill Gohan Black. They all think the problem is solved, but Bulma did give Trunks capsules for food, and Gohan wanted to go with Trunks to check out the future, and Vegeta goes with them as well. Then they head to the future and they see the destruction that was caused by someone who was using Gohan's body. Gohan feels guilty, and the army thinks he is Gohan Black, but Trunks stops him and tells him that Gohan Black is killed. They are all celebrating and start feasting. Gohan smiles to see how everyone is, but then Gohan, Trunks, and Vegeta send some evil ki. They tell everyone to stay here and they'll go check it out, and then they see a big explosion. They fly over there and see someone who looks like their Supreme Kai, and they go to attack him. Back in the past, Beerus and Whis got to Bulma's place, and Goku is excited to see them. And Beerus and Whis are happy for the food, but Beerus catches something with his eye and sees a ring, and he goes to pick it up. He yells at Goku on why this ring is here, but Goku explained what had happened, and this confuses Beerus. And just as this conversation ended, Trunks and the others came back, and Whis noticed that they have time traveled, and this pisses Beerus off. And Trunks ends up apologizing, but then they have important news to tell everyone. Gohan ends up explaining that they believed that they were fighting a Supreme Kai, but he didn't look like the one that they know. Whis asks to explain on how he looked, and Gohan did, and then they think the Supreme Kai that they were fighting came from Universe 10, and they start to head over there and see the current Supreme Kai and the Kai in training, which is the one that looks similar to the one that Gohan has described. And Gohan was ready to fight him, but Whis stops him. The talk go the same, and Zamasu would end up getting erased as usual. Then Gohan states that the problem that the Zamasu they were fighting was immortal, cause they would completely erase them, but he kept healing back. So Goku came up with an idea of using the Zeno button in that universe to see if it would work. Goku, Gohan, and Trunks go back in time, and Goku uses the Zeno button, and Zeno would appear and the universe would be erased as usual. Trunks and Mai would be sad about their universe, but Whis would offer them a universe, but it would be a bit different, and they would end up taking that offer. Trunks and Mai gets ready to leave to the universe that was made for them and said bye to the others. Zeno is also there, and Goku would ask Whis if he can bring Zeno somewhere. Whis says sure, and they take Zeno to the first Zeno and think that future Zeno might be better off being with the original timeline Zeno. Okay, so for this, we're just gonna say Zeno. Original Zeno is from this timeline, and then future Zeno is from the other timeline. Zeno is happy to see that Goku brought him a friend, and future Zeno is also happy that he now has a friend. Goku and Whis leave the two Zenos and head back to his world. Time passes and the two Zenos are playing a game, and future Zeno starts to get bored. Zeno asks him if he wants to see something fun, and future Zeno says sure. Zeno tells future Zeno about this tournament he saw, and says that it was really fun. Future Zeno seems excited and asks Zeno where they could see a tournament like that. Zeno says that he saw Goku participate in this tournament and that he could probably do another one. They ask the Grand Priest if he can bring Goku to them, and the Grand Priest brings Goku to both Zenos, and Goku asks why did they call him. Both Zeno ask Goku if he can do another tournament like the one he did last time against Universe 6. Goku says he's happy to do another tournament, but he wants to do a tournament against strong fighters from different universes. Both Zenos are happy to do a tournament like that, and the Grand Priest comes up with the rules. 3 fighters from each universe will fight one-on-one on a battle. Goku and Whis goes back to their world and starts to look for fighters to participate in the tournament. Or, not tournament, exhibition match. Goku decides that he wants Gohan to participate and goes to look for him. He finds Gohan and asks him if he wants to participate in the exhibition match that both Zeno created. Gohan says sure, and now they just need one more participant. Goku wants to ask Goten to also partake in this tournament and goes to look for him. Goku finds Goten and asks him if he'd like to fight in an exhibition match against fighters from different universes. Goten says sure, and now Universe 7 has their 3 participants for the exhibition match. Goku, Gohan, and Goten. Whis reports back to the Grand Priest and registers the Universe 7's team. Whis then goes to Goku and tells him that they have to wait for the other universes that they are participating to be ready. Time passes, the other universes are ready for the tournament. Goku, Gohan, Goten, Whis, Beerus, Supreme Kai, and Elder Kai go to Zeno's world and are taken to the arena by the Grand Priest where the other universes are waiting. The Grand Priest then explains the rules and shows that now there are 2 Omni Kings. One of the Supreme Kais from another universe then asks what the reward would be for the winners. The Grand Priest responds by saying that there will be no reward, and the point of all this is to show the appeal of martial arts to the Omni Kings. Although he also states that these matches aren't without consequences, and that if the Omni King feels like the fighters aren't up to the task, they may take drastic measures and exterminate the fighters or even their whole universe. With that said, the Grand Priest lets the exposition match begin and calls for the first 2 contestants to enter the ring. The first one enters is Basil, one of the 3 Wolf brothers from Universe 9. Goku sends in Goten to be the first one to fight. Universe 9 can't believe that they sent in a kid to fight and are super confident that they'll win this fight. Both fighters get ready and the fight begins. Basil decides to make the first move and attacks Goten, who is mainly focused on defense, to see what his opponent is capable of. Basil keeps attacking Goten with a barrage of punches and kicks. Goku then yells at Basil, telling him that he needs to do a little bit more than that to defeat Goten. Basil gets annoyed by this but decides to listen to Goku and stops holding back. He starts charging up a ki blast to end this fight and shoots it, and at first it seems like it killed Goten, but then all the smoke that was made by the blast gets cleared away. Immediately, when Goten transforms into a Super Saiyan, Basil and everyone else from Universe 9 is shocked that Goten survived, and it seemed that Goten wasn't even fazed by any of Basil's attack. Goten then quickly goes up to Basil, knees him right in the stomach, and gives him a strong uppercut. Goten charges up a Kamehameha, and Basil sees this and he charges his own attack. Basil quickly shoots at it, at Goten, but then Goten shoots the Kamehameha to the ground and uses it as a boost. Goten then dodges Basil's attack and slams Basil into the ground, giving him the win. The other 2 fights go as similar in canon, only that it's much easier for Goku and Gohan, just because Goku and Gohan are way stronger in this universe. After the fight, Toppo then wants to fight the strongest fighter from Universe 7, and it's Gohan who steps up instead of Goku. Gohan prepares to fight Toppo, and Gohan senses that this fighter is strong, and so he quickly powers up to Super Saiyan Blue, and he starts to fight Toppo. This fight is more intense than Goku versus Toppo. Gohan even has the upper hand against Toppo. Gohan powers up even more, but something happens. The blue aura seems stronger than usual, and Gohan is stronger than before. Gohan had reached the state of perfecting the Super Saiyan Blue transformation. The Grand Priest sees this and decides to stop the match, and then announces the Tournament of Power and that each universe has 40 hours to get a team ready. So Gohan would still be the team leader, and here's who the team consists of: Gohan, Goku, Goten, Vegeta, Trunks, Krillin, Android 18, Android 17, Nappa, and Tien. So there won't be any Frieza or Piccolo, because Piccolo doesn't exist and they don't need to resurrect Frieza. And Yamcha will sit this one out just because he's the weakest out of them all. You see in this universe, in this different timeline, everyone is much stronger and has been training the entire time. Gohan wants to make sure that their universe will win. He gets the idea that they should train in the hyperbolic time chamber since they spend less time fighting their candidates, that they have more time to train. The only problem is that there wouldn't be enough food, but then Trunks said that they could just buy food since Capsule Corp is so rich. Then Bulma bought the food for them and the problem was solved. Everyone went in there, including Beerus, Whis, and Elder Kai, so they all trained. Whis was the one training all the Saiyans and tried to get Trunks, Nappa, and Goten to get Super Saiyan God. Everyone else fought with Beerus, but then they had to stay in the Kaioken transformation as long as possible, even 18 and 17 learned how to use the Kaioken. They used that entire year of training to get as strong as possible. During their training, Tien was kind of worried because he thought of him and Yamcha. If him and Yamcha were in a tight spot, they could fuse to be more of use, but without Yamcha, he can't fuse. But then Krillin offers to be his new fusion partner, and they start to practice on that. The reason they wanted Elder Kai in is because they wanted him to do the ritual on the androids, Goten, and Trunks to give them more of a power boost. Back to the Saiyans, Nappa was able to get Super Saiyan God, but Goten and Trunks still can't tap into that power, even though they can sense God Ki. They even practice a bit on their fusion. Gohan is trying to help Vegeta and Goku to perfect Super Saiyan Blue. So throughout this entire time training, this is how it's going. Both the androids are consistently sparring. Tien and Krillin are practicing their fusion and staying on Mystic form as their base form, as well as fighting Beerus. Nappa, Goten, and Trunks are sparring with Whis, and finally Gohan is trying to help Goku and Vegeta to perfect Super Saiyan Blue. After the year has passed, they get out the chamber stronger than ever. Yamcha is impressed by how strong Krillin and Tien have gone, and he is now way lower than both of them in strength. They have around 10 hours left, and they decide what to do. Goku and Goten decide to rest before the big fight. Vegeta and Trunks are going to train in the gravity chamber. The humans and androids decide to keep training together, and it's just Gohan and Nappa at the lookout. Gohan looks concerned and worried, and Nappa asks Gohan what's wrong, and Gohan asks him if they're going to win this tournament. Nappa gives off one of his cocky replies, but it doesn't seem to change Gohan's mood. Nappa then sits next to Gohan and tries to ease his worries. Nappa and Gohan's bond is similar to how Piccolo and Gohan's would be, and then Gohan then talks about how back when he was little, he was training fiercely with him and Vegeta, and that changed a lot for him. You see, throughout this whole what if, Gohan was the person that everyone looked up to, or everyone hoped that he would be, because Gohan was the one that killed Frieza, that he killed Cell, and he was even the first one to go Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3. And he's a hybrid Saiyan. He has a human side and a Saiyan side. His human side starts to kick in and before the tournament of power because he has a family that he needs to protect, and he doesn't want to fail them because he doesn't want them to die. He feels like all the pressure is always on him, and he didn't hate it, but now this tournament could change everything that they worked so hard for. Nappa gives him a pat on the back, telling him not to worry because they have Gohan as a leader. This gives Gohan a smile, and they do a little sparring match similar to how it was when they first met. The time has come when the tournament of power has arrived. Universe 7 has their chances of winning is way better than in canon, since everyone is stronger and have a plan with different sections of the group. Before the tournament of power, Gohan explained a plan on how their team will work. He sectioned off the groups in different pairs that work together well. The android siblings will stick together. Krillin and Tien will need to be a pair just in case they need to fuse if they meet a strong opponent. Goten and Trunks will stick together for the same reason. Goku, Vegeta, and Nappa will need to be around with each other but can split up since they are strong enough to handle their own. Then Gohan says he will be alone since he thinks the other universes will target him since he is the strongest in the group. Now we hadn't described the power scaling for each character for a while. Their group from the strongest to weakest is Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, 17, 18, Nappa, Goten, Trunks, Krillin, and Tien. The tournament of power begins, and everyone begins with a plan. Krillin and Tien is able to manage to take on Universe 9 on their own, and when they meet with the Wolf Brothers, they are confident on beating them. They fight together in unison to take them out of the ring instead of beating them in strength since they need to keep their energy for later. To Goten and Trunks, they are enjoying themselves taking on multiple people. They are getting too cocky, and then Trunks quickly gets knocked out by a purple blur, and Goten looks around trying to find Trunks, and then Dispo reveals himself, and Goten gets upset and gets prepared to fight Dispo. Now it goes to the androids, and they themselves are good enough to beat Universe 3, but at the end, Android 18 does get thrown out of the ring. Goku and Vegeta spend their time training with the Universe 6 Saiyans. Nappa is having his fun with throwing around fighters and beating them. While Nappa is fighting, he meets Universe 11's group, the Pride Troopers, without Jiren and Toppo. This group reminds Nappa of the Ginyu Force, and he smiles, being happy to beat down a group like this again. He alone is able to handle the Pride Troopers alone. As soon as Nappa is about to beat the final Pride Trooper, a figure stands behind him, and he gets hit in the back. Nappa then gets angry and turns around to see Toppo, but Toppo's angry, and they start to beat down on Nappa. Nappa tries to activate Super Saiyan God, but even with that, it's not enough to make the fight even. Goten then sees this, and he charges at Toppo, helping Nappa fight Toppo. Gohan senses this and tries to get to them, but then Jiren stops him. Jiren then states that Gohan is the only fighter that he is interested in this tournament, so then Gohan has no choice but to fight Jiren. It is back to Krillin and Tien, and they meet Frost. They can sense this, and they decide to do the fusion dance to become Krien. I know this little art is kind of, we couldn't find any fan art, so we just had to, be creative with this. After Tien and Krillin fuse, the other gods of destructions then try to tell the Grand Priest that it's cheating, but since both Omni Kings are impressed by this, the Grand Priest lets this slide. Krien starts to put up a fight against Frost and puts Frost at the edge. Their fight goes on for 30 minutes, and then this pisses off Frost that he's being pushed back by humans, and he shoots a death beam at Krien's arm. Their fusion finally gives out, and it shows that only Tien has the wound, and then decides for their only hope of winning. Tien uses the multi-clone ability to try to hold on to Frost, and yells at Krillin to use a solar flare, which Krillin does, and then Krillin uses a Kamehameha to push both Frost and Tien out of the ring, but Krillin is really low on energy and is tired after the fusion. Then a close ki blast hits Krillin, and he's too tired that he couldn't block it, and he's just knocked into a bunch of rubble. Vegeta does train Kabo like usual, but then he does knock him out after promising him to bring him back after winning. Goku also beats Kefla without unlocking Ultra Instinct Sign, since he is way more stronger than Canon. Nappa is close to being defeated by Toppo, but then Vegeta shows up saving Nappa. Vegeta transforms into perfect Super Saiyan Blue and starts to fight Toppo, but then Toppo transforms into his God of Destruction form instantly and starts wheeling on Vegeta. Nappa sees this and tries to help, but can barely move, so the only thing he sees that he could do is give Vegeta all his energy, and he tells Vegeta that he is the Prince of Saiyans, and that he cannot lose this fight, to show everyone that the Saiyan race are the best warriors. Toppo then turns around and blasts away, telling him to stop speaking nonsense. During this, Vegeta has time to think about everything, how his whole life turned out, the family he has, Nappa who raised him for years, his disciple Gohan, and how he changed Vegeta, and how Gohan ended up being the strongest of them all. All of this, all the things he accomplished and has in his life, he is not able to lose it all. Vegeta starts screaming and powering up, and the blue aura starts to grow, his muscle starts growing as well, and Vegeta gets the Super Saiyan Blue evolution transformation. And the fight, it changes, and Toppo is on the edge now. Jiren is fighting Gohan, holding back some power, and Goten tries to help him while Goku and 17 fight Hit, but they are having trouble trying to handle Hit's time skip ability. Goku and Android 17 powers up to the max to fight Hit, and Hit is still able to fight back, but he is trying harder to hold them at bay. The reason they are having trouble with Hit is because they haven't ever fought Hit in this timeline. Goku charges up a perfected Super Saiyan Blue and stacked Kaioken, while Android 17 did the same, and then charged Hit at full speed. Hit uses his time skip and punches both of them, but then Goku breaks through and manages to hit Hit with a full power punch and blasts him with a Kamehameha wave, knocking him out. But what Goku didn't realize is that the blast also got 17 out of the ring as well. With the big energy being drawn out of a big pressure wave, Hit 17 out. It took a lot out of Goku for that attack. Vegeta is still fighting Toppo, and Goku's sons are still trying to fight Jiren. Vegeta is still trying to fight Toppo, and Vegeta is having the advantage in the battle that he is using. He uses a final flash to shoot Toppo out, but Toppo uses his own attack and is pushing Vegeta's final flashback. But Vegeta uses all of the rest of his energy to make the strongest Gallic gun he ever made and shoots it at Toppo. But he is so drained that it isn't enough. Gohan sees his mentor struggling, so he puts a solar flare on Jiren and he tells Goten to stay there, and he goes to Vegeta. Vegeta asks him what he's doing, and Gohan charges his own Gallic gun to help Vegeta, and together they can take out Toppo. Goku congrats them, and all four of them gang up on Jiren to even the odds, but since they're all tired, it's not enough. Goten tries to get a hold on, but then Jiren slams him all over the floor and throws him away, sending a ki blast hitting him. This angers both Goku and Gohan, and they both charge up to full power, but Jiren takes Gohan out with a ki blast and starts beating on Goku. He grabs Goku by his neck and tells him that it's over, but then a yellow disc goes towards Jiren and he dodges it, but he sees a blur and Goku is gone. Krillin manages to save Goku, and everyone is shocked that he is still in the tournament. Jiren isn't worried, but then a bright light shines and everyone looks at it, and it's Gohan, and he is unlocking Ultra Instinct sign. Everyone is shocked, even the gods themselves. Gohan alone starts fighting Jiren. He's putting up a good challenge, and this worries Jiren, so he instantly goes full power. Now Gohan is struggling a bit, so the others jump in to help, but it's no use. Goku is on the ground, barely able to move, but then he sees a hand, and it's Goten, so Goku gives the rest of his energy to Goten, and he throws himself out the ring. Beerus yells at him and asks why, but Goku only says to look, and now Goten is in a ball of just red aura, and he yells loudly, where everyone turns to see, and he unlocks Super Saiyan God. Quickly he rushes at Jiren, sending barrages of attack, and Gohan joins him. The Sun Brothers together slam Jiren into the ground. Krillin then uses a solar flare, but Jiren manages to cover his eyes, and he hits Krillin out of the ring, and Krillin sends all of his energy to Vegeta before falling off. Vegeta powers up to Super Saiyan Blue, and all three of them jump on Jiren, beating it, and it looks like they have the advantage, but Jiren slams Vegeta completely through the arena, and Vegeta gets knocked out. Jiren punches Goten far away from the battle, and it's just Gohan and Jiren, and they are fighting. Gohan is surpassing his limits over and over, that his body goes completely white, surrounded by the aura. The pressure is so much that it's breaking the ring with ease. When the bright light fade away, Gohan is shown with mastered Ultra Instinct, and their fight continues. They are pretty equal in power, just because how tired Gohan is. Then Jiren punches Gohan hard into the ground, and it looks like Gohan is about to get knocked. But then a big ball of energy comes up, and everyone sees Goten completely exhausted. Goten throws the Spirit Ball at Jiren, and Gohan uses the rest of his energy to hold Jiren still, but Jiren is still able to hold it back, but then Goten turns Super Saiyan 2, and adds a Kamehameha, pushing it as hard as he can, and Jiren and Gohan gets knocked out of the ring, and Universe 7 wins the tournament. And Goten is lying on the floor, tired, and he remembers he gets to wish anything he wants, and with him being pure of heart, he wishes to bring back everyone as he passes out on the ground while everyone cheers for him. All the other universes are resurrected, and everyone cheers for Goten. So this is where we end off our first full series of our first Dragon Ball What If. We hope you enjoyed. If y'all have any ideas for any other what ifs, leave down in the comments below. And thank y'all so much for all the support y'all giving us to our channel this entire time. We really appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching.